Hi LEGO fans, it's me, Mario! Yes, LEGO is back with another premium set aimed at adult fans of LEGO and their credit cards. They're also doubling down on the Super Mario theme before the world wakes up to the injustice of Italian racial stereotypes. Today, I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing a fantastic piece of retro 1980s history. It's set number 71374, Nintendo Entertainment System from the LEGO Super Mario range. This substantial 2,646-piece LEGO set is a brick-built recreation of Nintendo's second home console, Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short. Released in 1985, the NES was actually based on Nintendo's family computer, or Famicom, and sold in the region of 61 million units. LEGO's recreation of the NES comes at the same time as the release of a bunch of Super Mario-themed LEGO sets. In fact, this set is compatible with Mario from the 71360 Adventures with Mario starter course. That's coming up in a future video, and Mario will be making an appearance today. Not only do we get a brick-built recreation of Nintendo's classic 1985 console, we also get an old-school CRT TV to play it on, and a recreation of the original Super Mario Bros. Game cartridge released 35 years ago on September the 13th, 1985. There's also a really cool Easter egg to look out for. LEGO's Nintendo Entertainment System retails for $230 US, 230 euros, or 210 of your hard-earned Great British pounds. If the $230 price tag plus another $60 for the interactive Mario doesn't pitch this at adult fans, the 18+ recommended age range makes it clear that this is aimed at people old enough to have owned one of these. Although the 2,600-piece part count doesn't include any minifigures, we do get this 8-bit Mario for a bit of video gaming fun. Over on the back of the box we get a closer look at the set, and it's clear that this is not just a fancy display piece. The meticulously recreated NES has a cartridge door, and you can put the Super Mario Bros. Cartridge inside. The really cool thing is that Super Mario Bros. Is recreated on the CRT TV screen. The blocky nature of LEGO makes it perfect for 8-bit video gaming. Better still, the image on the TV can actually move. Turning the handle on the side actually advances the game, which recreates the original side-scroller. On the back of the box we also get all of the dimensions for the TV, the NES console, and the controller. There's also a bunch of detail on the back of the TV, including what looks like a European RF port. Finally, we have the 8-bit Mario, who can move up and down as the game progresses. It looks like we've got many hours of building ahead of us. Before we launch into the speed build, let's open up this box and see what we get inside. Here's everything that came inside the box. We've got 25 bags of LEGO numbered for stages 1 through 21, a 210-page instruction booklet for the console, a 247-page instruction booklet for the TV, a 16x16 stud dark grey base plate, a piece of flexible tubing for the controller, rigid tubing for the TV antenna, and a surprisingly small sticker sheet, which means lots and lots of lovely printed parts. I'm going to go ahead and build set number 71374, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and today this is going to be a 3-minute speed build! And after 2,646 LEGO elements and 4 hours and 43 minutes of build time, it's
LEGO Mario time!
This set was an absolute delight to build and looks fantastic. Sure, the TV's obviously not real, but to the uneducated eye this could genuinely be a Nintendo Entertainment System. Not only is this a great looking display piece, you can actually load up the NES with cartridges, and the TV has a really cool interactive function which recreates the Super Mario Bros. Side-scrolling game. We're going to start out by taking a detailed look around the NES, then we'll plug in the controller, load up the Super Mario Bros. Cartridge, demonstrate the side-scrolling function, and we'll take a look at this working in conjunction with the electronic Mario. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get on with it. So this is the thing that's got all of the adult fans of LEGO super excited. Unless you come from a certain point in time, this may just look like a nondescript grey box. To other people, this epitomises their childhood. The attention to detail on this console is absolutely amazing. I'm particularly pleased that LEGO went mostly with printed parts and didn't cut corners with stickers. It would have looked terrible. More printed parts pick out the power and reset buttons, but these are purely for show, they don't do anything. The same goes for the power indicator, which is screaming out to have an LED behind it. Over on the right hand side of the console we actually have 2 controller ports. These are denoted by a custom printed part. We do only get 1 controller with the system, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Inside each of the ports we have a couple of standard LEGO clips, and those loosely grip the male connectors on the controller plug. It's not the perfect solution, but it does the trick. As we move to the right hand side of the console, the details are just as authentic. For connecting the NES to a TV, we have the female audio and video ports. Again, we have a really nice printed element, and this is actually printed on the side of a plate. The ports themselves are also super realistic and use macaroni pieces with studs in the end. Also on the side of the console we have this kind of notch which has a pivoting action. At first I thought this must be hiding some kind of port, but in reality it's just a clever building technique to leave that gap in the bottom. Referring to the original machine, this would have just housed ventilation slots. Before we move on to the back panel, there is a really interesting Easter egg here. This nondescript looking panel here can actually be removed. Inside we have a micro-scale recreation of a Super Mario world. It's difficult to see who the character could be, but I'm guessing this is probably Mario. Over on the other side we even have a warp zone which allows you to travel between levels. This really is so cool and shows that even LEGO designers can be video game geeks. With the side panel removed, you can also see the ventilation slots on top of the machine. These are actually LEGO tiles which have been built into a stack and then mounted horizontally. The back of the console is a little less exciting but houses some more ports, and another one of those ventilation cutouts. The port on the left is the DC power input and looks superb. I like the way we have a grey post sticking through a Technic hole which makes it look like the real thing. I believe the dial between the 2 ports would have been the RF channel selector. That determined which RF frequency this port would broadcast on. On the final panel, no more ports and no Easter egg. You can try prizing off the top, but you're just going to pull this thing apart. What we do have are a bunch of inverted slope pieces which make up the contours of the side. This is one of quite a few elements in this set which appear in abundance. With the exception of the black stripe which runs front to back, the top of the box is pretty boring, but that's okay because that's what the NES was. My only criticism here would be the difference in finish on some of the parts. Notice how the tiles around the edge are really shiny and reflect the studio lights, but the panels in the middle do not. These are made of a matte material, and it's definitely an inconsistency we've seen in other LEGO sets. We see the same thing on the 1989 Batmobile. It would be great if LEGO could make shiny versions of these. What is cool about the top of the NES is the cartridge loading mechanism. Not only do we have a working flap, we also have a really cool eject mechanism. Thankfully it's pretty easy to get inside the console so we can see how this works. The top panel is designed so you can just lift it off. So how does this miracle of LEGO engineering work? First of all, we insert the cartridge, then we push down the tray to lock it in place. When we're done playing, we simply press down on the cartridge and it pops up again. At the back where the PCB connector would be, we have this raised section with a set of wheels. This simply holds the cartridge in place. Unsurprisingly, the mechanism also has a spring which helps this thing go up and down. The really clever part is this slidey gubbins over here. As you press down on the tray, it slides forward and locks the tray into place. Repeat the action, it slides forward some more and releases the tray. The sliding mechanism incorporates a Technic axle which sticks out towards the right. We then have this jaggedy thing mounted on an angle underneath the tray. When we push the tray down, the axle moves forward and gets latched on the jaggedy thing. Pressing the tray again allows it to move forwards and get released. It really is a super cool and well designed mechanism. Now I just need to figure out how to put all of this back together again. It really did seem like a good idea at the time. So that was the super cool Nintendo Entertainment System and all of the technical wizardry inside. But of course most of the fun comes from whacking in a cartridge and playing some games. Luckily this system is bundled with a cartridge. It's a perfect LEGO facsimile of the 1985 classic Super Mario Bros. The label on the cartridge features a suitably blocky 8-bit Mario running through a suitably blocky 8-bit world. In fact, is that even Mario? He looks the wrong colour. The label confirms this to be part of the Action series and features the Nintendo seal of quality. It really is a convincing game cartridge until you flip it over and spoil the illusion. I love the use of the green plate just to give the idea that the PCB might be inside the card. On top we have a bunch of shiny grey tiles to complete the illusion. I think it might just be LEGO Mario time. Before I forget, there's just one more thing we need. Yes, we have an authentically detailed Nintendo Entertainment System game controller. It's connected to the console by this flexible lead, which in truth is a little bit short but very practical. The lead is connected deep inside the controller and shouldn't come out too easily. The controller itself, with just a few exceptions, looks just like the real thing. The edges don't quite meet, but that's just a limitation of LEGO bricks. You'll also notice the D-pad has exposed LEGO studs. A nice touch is the custom printed elements to create the grey shadow. The start and select buttons are made out of elements which help minifigures to grab accessories. Usually these come in trans clear instead of black plastic. Above and below the buttons you'll find more printed elements. The same goes with the A and B buttons, which come from a much simpler time. You'll definitely not be playing Street Fighter or Tekken 3 with this controller. While the proportions and the look and feel of the controller may be totally accurate, the buttons do not have that same tactile feel. In fact, there's no motion here, they don't work at all. In fact, if you turn it over, it's very obvious that this is a LEGO thing, but it is a beautiful thing. So now we have the Super Mario cartridge loaded and the game controller attached. I guess we're going to need a TV to play it on. Thankfully we have this fantastic old school style TV to play the game on. Not only is it old school in appearance, it weighs about as much as a 1950s Cadillac. In fact, just the LEGO TV without the stand weighs about 1.4 kilos, or around 3 pounds. The stand isn't permanently attached and the TV just sits on top. It's really simple but does the job and has a nice vintage aesthetic. It even has tiny feet which leave a nice little divot if you put it on the carpet. The only thing holding the two parts together are the two grey pieces you see on the left and the right. From underneath we also get a sneak peek at some of the wizardry going on inside. Wizardry this truly is, but we'll come back to it in just a moment. First we've got to check out this TV, which is an absolute joy. LEGO spared no expense and gave us the top of the range low-tech model. It's equipped with a single speaker, but check out how that's been built. There are no less than 41x1 plates mounted upside down. The overall effect is perfect. Low-tech didn't include a clicker, so all of the controls are manual. There are buttons to switch between UHF and VHF and an on-off switch. Even I'm too young to remember why TVs switch between ultra-high frequency and very high frequency. Below those buttons we have 3 dials. The top one controls volume, second one brightness, and third one contrast. I saved the best for last, and up at the top we have the channel selector. Check this out. Yes, it's a clicky switch. The designers even managed to engineer this so you can't go beyond the last channel. The mechanism to make it click is super simple. Inside the TV you'll find a flexible piece and a gear which makes it click. If you look really carefully you'll see the green piece which rubs against the gear and makes that clicking noise. Just like the front of the set, which you can see, the back of the set is absolutely packed with detail. There's a pair of jack sockets for the audio-video inputs, and also a female coaxial plug for the RF input. I love the way the designers have used a barrel element here. This is, I think, where the power cord is meant to be attached. And check out the antenna up on top. Just like an old school radio, this unclips. And then on the other side we have a ratchet joint which enables us to raise the antenna. Being an old school TV, this ain't no flat screen. In fact, you can see the bulge on the back of the TV which would house the electron gun. Another really nice detail is the inclusion of ventilation slots. These old school TVs really kicked out some heat. Another really cool thing is the label on the back of the TV which includes a bunch of Easter eggs. I can't possibly name them all, but I imagine every designer that works on this set has their initials here. Model number DM-71374 combines the set number and the initials for one of the designers, Dare McCabe. PGG1307 likely refers to designer Pablo Gonzalez, and LP1311 probably refers to Leon Pinionberg. I'm going out on a limb here and I probably should have googled it, but I'm guessing 1507-1983 was the release of the Famicom. Please shoot me down in the comments if I'm wrong. Getting back to the fun stuff, we have this 8-bit Mario. It's a custom LEGO element, so it's like nothing we've ever seen before. There's an anti-stud on the back and that helps to get Mario involved in the gameplay. Mario attaches to a clear plastic dish which attaches to a clear plastic shaft that bounces up and down. As the game moves from left to right, it forces the dish to move up and down. It's a super simple concept, but absolute genius on the part of the designers. The panels on top of the TV come off really easily so you can see what's going on inside. As you can see, the screen is one big loop and turns as you crank the handle. We start with the larger format track elements and then build a flexible blank canvas. To this we apply a bunch of plates and tiles to make the Super Mario World environment. The segments alternate between being one stud and two studs wide and makes everything run smoothly. You will notice there's a funny looking barcode. This is for the optional Mario which you can mount on top of the TV. I do have one of those and I'm going to show you how that works in a minute. As well as recognising barcodes, Mario can also recognise colours. These coloured blocks tell Mario what's happening in the game and allows him to make the right noises and the right animations. Inside the game we have a bunch of printed parts recreating the stuff that Mario interacts with. Forgive me if I get any of these wrong, but that looks like an 8-bit Goomba. There's also some kind of pixelated tortoise. And Toad, is that you? It really is a cool mechanism and I've no doubt it would be easy to motorise. For me, I'm declaring that life's too short, so I'll let Jangrix figure it out in one of his telethons. You guys have been super patient, so let's bring in the guest of honour. It's Mario time! I'll be covering Mario in more detail in a separate video on the Adventures with Mario starter course.
See you later.
Basically, Mario is a little computer equipped with Bluetooth, and we have screens for the eyes, mouth and chest. After removing the panel from the top of the TV, we can turn on Mario,
LEGO Mario time.
scan the barcode, and then put him into place above the game. Not only does Mario play the theme music, which I may have to cut out of the video for copyright reasons, he makes a bunch of sound effects which are synchronised to the actions in the game. That's where those coloured squares mounted on the top of the screen really come into play. This is where Mario sits on top of the TV, and as the screen turns around he sees all of these coloured blocks. It's a really cool use of technology, but for adult fans looking for a cool retro LEGO set, I'm not sure Mario in a starter set is worth the extra $60 investment. So that was set number 71374, Nintendo Entertainment System from LEGO Super Mario. For someone who grew up in the 1980s, yes I'm old, please don't unsubscribe, this set is an absolute joy and full of retro goodness. LEGO could have easily stopped at the NES and adult fans would have still gone gaga for this set. Adding in the TV, complete with Super Mario, gave this a whole new dimension and a very rewarding build experience. I loved uncovering the Easter eggs, and while Mario was fun, you really don't need him to make the most of this awesome LEGO set. I will be covering Mario in a detailed review of the Adventures with Mario starter course, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss out. I had a blast with this set and hope you enjoyed the review as much as I did making it. If you did, don't forget to super smash the like button to tell YouTube you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for checking out my review, stay safe and
See you later.